Hello everyone. In this video I am going to discuss about UTM coordinate system and its uses. You must have come across this term UTM, Universal Transfer Marketer, which is a coordinate system for locating any location on the earth surface, just like latitude longitude. However, in this system earth is divided into 60 zones, with each zones cover 6 degree latitude. Okay, so 6 into 60 pieces, so it will be covering entire earth 360 degree. So each longitude division comprises 20 latitude bands. That is, latitude means north south. Lat long, everything I have earlier discussed on my previous video. You can go to that video and understand briefly. Now, so I am not going to detail about latitude longitude. This much basics are expected from anybody whoever is interested in UTM. So each longitude division is comprising 20 latitude bands from 80 degree south to 84 degree north latitude. So first question arises, why from 80 degree south? Entire earth should have been covered, but no. I will come into detail why it is like that. And by the way, why in northern latitude 84 degree and southern latitude southern part it is up to 80 degree south. So in southern pole 10 degree and in northern pole 6 degree latitude are left behind. It is not measurable by UTM. Why it is so, that also I will discuss. Now first try to understand the UTM in detail. The 6 degree longitude cover a maximum width of up to 668 kilometer. So maximum width means along the equator part, and longitude 0 band is called prime meridian. Okay, it is in between 30th and 31 number pieces, and 0 means 0 or 180 degree will be merged together. It is just in the screen. If you fold it like cylinder, so these 60th pieces and 0 pieces will become same. It is unfolded and projected. So in equatorial part, maximum, since middle part of the paper is touching that equator 1:1, and as we progress towards pole, error will be enhancing based on simple principle of projection of cylindrical type. So that is the reason cylindrical projection is mostly utilized in equatorial part. Main thing for projection is that wherever we are projection applicable according to the area of the earth, for example mid latitude, there conical projection is mostly useful because of the earth's shape, spherical. At the pole it is simple planar projection. All these things in basics I will discuss in separate video. Now to understand UTM further, we have to see one interesting thing. It is further more elaborated and detailed UTM map of the earth. Okay, conventionally there are 20 latitude bands, each covers 8 degree except the northernmost band, that is covering 12 degree. So out of 20 latitude bands, 20th from south, if I consider one, so every latitude band comprises 8 degree. Only 20th latitude band covers 12 degrees. So that is the reason from 80 degree south to 84 degree north. So 164 degree is covered. So 16 degree left behind. Why it is so, that is also I will discuss. Okay, so in each zone, which conventionally demarcated with capital English letters, So So latitude bands in each zone are represented by English letters. It conventionally it starts from south towards and that alphabetically that band number increases towards north. So naturally 80 degree south will become C and 84 degree north will become X. Now question arises, why it is not starting from A, B? Suddenly from C onwards, why southernmost latitude band starts? And why it ends abruptly in X? Where is YZ? Okay, that is another important question. So conventionally bands are read from south to north, and the first band is assigned as C at 80 degree south and last band is X at 84 degree north. Except X in the northern extreme it covers 12 degree latitude. All other latitude bands cover 8 degree and there is no band with letter I and O. This is for avoiding confusion, because I often have similarity with letter 1 and O is having similarity with 0. So to avoid confusion with 1 and 0 respectively, I and O alphabets are not utilized in latitude band definition. Now another question, A and B in the southern extreme and Y and Z in the northern extreme actually exists but not used in practical context, because the Earth's curvature and shape lead to form A and B as western and eastern sides of the Antarctic and Y and Z as the western and eastern sides of the Arctic regions respectively. This is very interesting. If you see here A and B is there and in the northern extreme Y, Z are there, but how it is depicted? Y is in the western part, Z in eastern part. A is in the western part, B is in the eastern part. That is very interesting. Why it is so? That thing also I will discuss. Because in pole, north south doesn't matter. In pole, in the pole, north south will become vertical. So if we stand in northern pole, south will below your feet. Similarly vice versa, if you stand exactly on the southern pole, where will be the north? It will below your feet. There is no horizontal plane exists. It is directly vertical. Try to understand that. Okay, no issue. I'll further elaborate these things. So our India, let us go visit our India first, then in this context I'll come into detail. Here it is our overall all UTM zones are depicted. Especially I have elaborated zoomed in our Indian part. Okay, you can see what you can see from zone 42 to zone 46 is covering India broadly. Okay, and mostly 4 latitude bands from P to S band. Okay, from P, Q, R, S, that is covering India. Now the most valid question is about coordinate system in polar region, where UTM system doesn't work properly. Okay, what happened? Why it is like that? Because UTM zones cannot provide useful information from if we see this screen right now, what is happening? All the longitude line actually converging towards a point. So band width, that in the latitude coverage in terms of distance, east west distance is maximum in the equator and 0, it is converging into a point in the pole. So all latitude bands will be converging to a simple point. Okay, so for example, UTM zone A and B in the southern pole and Y and Z in the northern polar regions, if we see, try to understand. In such areas, UTM coordinates cannot provide any information. As I told, it will become vertical, no? So even there in the polar region, sidewise, sun used to rotate. Full day sun you can see, it is visible. There is no east west as such. It is very difficult to understand, because as we look towards north, east will become in your right side. I am talking about our equatorial area. But in pole, it doesn't have any meaning. Okay, so in such areas, some slightly separate projection techniques are used. So that is called universal polar stereographic coordinate system, that is called UPS in brief abbreviation. It is used in conjunction with UTM, universal transfer marketed coordinate system. So where this conjunction is required? From 84 degree north to 90 degree north, and from 80 degree south to 90 degree south. Okay, so in brief, I'll summarize this UPS system also, that is only utilized for polar region. So for example, along the northern as well as southern polar regions, directions are complicated to visualize. This is because of the fact that all geographic north-south lines get converged at the two polar points respectively. And UPS grid north is arbitrarily defined here to avoid the problem. How to do that? It is defined to pass along the prime meridian in the Antarctic and along the 180th meridian in the Arctic. Thus, east and west on the grid, when moving directly away from the area, you can understand, you can visualize. Okay, so as I saw, what is prime meridian? This is prime meridian. And what is the 180th meridian? This is 180th. These two will be converging if you fold this into a cylindrical form, cylindrical shape. So in this portion, this area will be converging into point. Actually, this will be point. This will be point. All entire area will be like this. It will become a point. Similarly, in the southern part, it will converge into a point. It will be converging into a point. So here we should try to visualize the thing. See, now firstly, if you see this one, in this polar region, what happened? This prime meridian and this is 180th meridian. Actually, these are connected, but as I told, when you see if you face north, east will become in your right hand side, but when you face towards south, east will be on your left hand side. Similarly, when at the pole, if you are standing in the northern pole exactly, what will happen? It is very difficult, no? South will become below your feet. Now if you project this 180th meridian, so conventionally, if we think in UPS projected map, this projection as north, so what will happen? This portion left side will become your west, that is Y, and right side will become your Z, that is east. Vice versa will be true in southern pole. but in that case prime meridian has to be projected. See here, it is try to understand, it is not so simple, and I hope nowhere you can get this much detailed explanation in such legible way. So in this northern pole, suppose you are standing in northern pole, so conventionally this is 180th meridian. So this is north, this is south. If you project this, so left side of north will become y, and right side of the north will become z. Now think about southern pole. Just you rotate, what will happen? 0 to 80 will come. Now this is southern pole, this is about northern pole. If you rotate this along like this, so opposite side of 080 line, 180 line will appear. So 0 will become here, 180 will become here. Okay, so when this is, if we consider this 180th meridian, naturally it will become prime meridian. So nothing but 180 degree. So then along this prime meridian also, left side will become A, right side will become B, and left side means west, this is east. So that is the reason, after projection now if we try to see, understand, this is north pole. What happened? North pole, as I told, north pole covers only from 84 to 90 degree, 6 degree, whereas south pole covers 80 to 90 degree, that is 10 degree. So that is the reason this area of this circle is smaller in case of northern pole, and area of the circle for southern pole is relatively bigger. Now here you can see 0 to 180 line, this is 135 degree east. Okay, this is 90 east. Here 0 to 180 like this, 45 degree east will come this side. So that is the reason. So for UPS, this kinds of projection understanding is very much required and essential for polar part. However, since my video is mostly concerned with UTM, I am not going to further detail on UPS, but it is impractical in UTM coordinate system. Contextually you will have to bring the concept of UPS as well. That is why I brought in these things, otherwise this entire concept should not have been clarified. I hope that this is useful to you. Thanks for watching. Thank you.